A long, long time ago, King David ruled over Israel and its people. He was a great man of God. During his rule, Israel had grown 10 times larger than what it was under the previous king, King Saul. However, David was now growing old and feeble. He could not rule any longer.
I am growing tired and sick. My time is over, and my life on earth is nearing to an end. I need one of my sons to take over my duties and responsibilities. Israel needs to be in the hand of a great, wise king.
King David had another son with his wife Bathsheba, and his name was Solomon. Bathsheba knew very well that her son should take over the throne of Israel after her husband. She knew Solomon would be a great king, just like his father. David brought together all of his leaders and people, and in front of everyone made Solomon the king of his nation. The people of Israel had complete faith in David, and believed that whatever he did would be good for Israel and its people.
Solomon is the one who God has chosen to be your king. He will take good care of all of you once I am not here.
Shortly after Solomon became the king, David's health worsened.
My dear son, you are now the king of my nation. Always remember to walk in God's path so that you rule wisely and be prosperous in all that you do.
After his father's death, Solomon sat on his throne and established his father's kingdom firmly once again. He built a huge and powerful army comprising of thousands of horsemen, chariots, and even a mighty fleet of hundreds of ships. As a king, he never let himself forget his father's good advice. One night, Solomon had a dream. In his dream, God appeared to him and said,
Solomon, I grant you a wish. Ask, what shall I give you? Wish for anything, and you shall receive.
Dear Lord, I ask for wisdom to be a good king to my people. Grant me a listening and caring heart.
You are a good man, Solomon. Despite being the king, you wished for wisdom instead of power. I am very pleased. Your wish shall be granted. You will be the wisest king of Israel, and people will remember you for all eternity for your wisdom. But if you fail to obey my commandments, your throne shall be lost forever.
Not only did Solomon get what he asked for, God also promised him great riches and honor. Days passed, and Solomon grew to be beloved amongst his people. He was compassionate and took great care of them, and his wisdom came to be known across all nations. The people of Israel realized that he was as good a king as his father. It did not take them long to discover Solomon's wisdom, and soon people came to him from far-off places seeking his help. One day, 2 women came to Solomon's court with a baby to seek justice.
This woman's son died in the middle of the night, and she has replaced her dead baby with mine. Now she claims my baby to be hers. No, this child is mine. The one which died last night was yours.
The argument went on for a while. It was difficult for Solomon to decide whose baby the child really was. It was not at all easy for him to tell who the real mother was. Suddenly, the wise King Solomon had an idea.
bring me my sword.
The sword was brought. Everyone in the court was appalled. They wondered how the sword could help the king arrive at the correct decision in a grave and confusing matter like this. However, Solomon had other plans. He ordered his men,
Divide the child in 2 halves. Give 1 half to one and the other half to the other mother. Then they will both be happy.
The moment he uttered these words, the mother of the baby cried out loud, terrified.
Oh Lord, please don't do this. Give her the child, but in no means kill him. I pray to you, I cannot see my child getting killed. Let the child be neither hers nor mine. It's better to divide them. Go ahead with your judgment, Lord.
Hearing the 2 women saying 2 different things, King Solomon took back his orders and said,
Give the first woman the child. That child is hers, and she is the real mother. A mother would never let her baby die. That is exactly how I knew who the real mother is.
The whole court praised the king for being so wise and just. All of them respected his judgment and realized that he truly possessed the wisdom of God in him. When Solomon became the king, he began to build a wonderful temple of God in Jerusalem for his people to worship him. The temple took 7 long years to be built completely. When it was ready, each and every Israelite gathered there to hear the king dedicate the temple to the Lord. The king offered a wonderful prayer, and the people gladly offered thousands of sacrifices. The feast was grand and went on for 2 long weeks. A few days later, God once again appeared in Solomon's dream. He promised to bless him and all the people of Israel as long as they continued to obey him. Unfortunately, neither Solomon nor the people obeyed God at all times. Solomon married many women who God did not want him to marry. Most of his wives had evil plans, who tried to turn his spiritual heart towards worshiping idols. Solomon too eventually gave into this, and his heart was not as loyal to the Lord as his father's. While Solomon wasted his opportunity to obey God and be blessed by him, one of his officers named Jeroboam encountered a strange experience.
God has special plans for you. He will divide Solomon's kingdom into 2 halves, and you will rule over 10 of the 12 tribes.
On hearing this from the prophet, Jeroboam immediately escaped from Egypt. He knew King Solomon would not let him live if he stayed there any longer.